Hello, everyone. My name is Husniyah, and I'm running for the Minnesota State House 63B seat. 63B covers half of Richfield, the northeast portion of Richfield, and southeast Minneapolis around Lake Hiawatha and Lake Nokomis, and then around Fort Snelling, kind of as you go around towards the airport. I'm excited to be running for this position because I was raised in this area. I've been through a lot of different things throughout the area. Like I've been through different transportation modes, whether it's walking, riding my bike, or even riding the bus and driving through our area. And so I'm very familiar with the types of things, the construction and different things that have occurred in this area to improve our transportation. And I am excited about new opportunities for improving that transportation when it comes to the D line and Orange line services. I definitely want to. I know one of the questions was how are you going to help my family, during this pandemic, and how can the campaign affect the community and help the community. Like one way is definitely making sure that we have a sustainable transportation and transportation modes that help the community get around to be able to find employment opportunities and to experience our state in different and new ways. And I, definitely will advocate for that. I know that there's certain federal funding that comes for transportation and also state funding. And if we can ensure that as we put together these new lines through our district, that they're serving everyone and that they are coming with the same safety standards that other transportation modes of transportation comes with in other areas. We definitely do not. We want to stave off some of the crime and stuff that we've seen on the metro lines that some people in our district take to get home. And in order to do that, we definitely want to make sure that we're hiring enough people on the lines, especially on the mass transit, to make sure that things are monitored properly. So, like having people, ride the trains or even ride the bus every once in a while, checking to see if everything's going okay and going good as they're walking through there, having a security vehicle every once in a while check different at different stops, get on the bus, see if everything's all right, making sure that they communicate with people so that people feel comfortable in telling them if there's an issue or if there are things going on that makes them feel uncomfortable with riding the transportation. But I definitely think that putting more transportation lines throughout the state will help in our employment levels as after the COVID-19 pandemic and as more industries open back up, it'll be able to transport people around more effectively than just driving, and with the reduction in driving that helps with our carbon emissions, and it helps us go to zero carbon emissions by 2030. So I'm definitely an advocate for that, and I'm definitely with my campaign helping to advocate for those transportation options. For the different things that people will do, in legislature, especially as a state representative and helping families during the pandemic, is making sure that not only that the federal dollars that are coming in, that are being passed by these different stimulus bills are going to the right businesses, small businesses, and nonprofits in our area, but also to help those that are in need of food and shelter, and separating monies out for individuals to be able to apply for those funds and use them. It's good definitely that we are increasing unemployment benefits and at least allowing people from different industries to tap into those benefits. We definitely, need to increase and make sure that our food shelves and other places are not overran by too many people and are not too crowded. And so, in order to do that, it's dividing up those funds and dividing up those resources to other places, like other either nonprofits or churches or other areas throughout the district that can help distribute those like food and other things and other items that people may need, especially during this pandemic. Um, a lot of the things that we've heard definitely are good and they're good ideas. We've seen, food insecurities when it comes to students and people that, normally would um, go inside the schools, but helping when it comes to that, and then also helping having, food drives and food giveaways at different places and promoting those, both sharing what's on the Minneapolis and Richfield websites on resources that people can tap into, but also setting stuff up so that people can be able to come and pick up resources that they need for their households. So I definitely, will help with that and help coordinate those activities, and also helping to advocate for our families and for education when it comes to like everybody's moving to the online studies. Not all the households were ready for online studies. Not everybody has computers at home. A lot of people, they have their cell phones and that can, log into the internet, but being able to be productive on a cell phone when you're, having to write a paper or complete different exercises for your teachers and for your classroom in order to pass for that year, you need, a computer or something that can be worked on. And so, definitely in the future, helping schools get the right supplies that they need, whether it's the notepads and other things that they can hand out to students for them to use for their educational outcomes. Also, coming up with other activities that can be done online throughout the year, not just like when we're having a pandemic and getting forced to move to online studies, but also getting students used to working online more and having different assignments, not just the in classroom assignments, but also online assignments that can help engage them and help keep them engaged when they do. Kind of like when we're in a situation that we're in now where they're forced to do all online studies. So coming out with programs like that and then working with the teachers and the teachers unions on different ways that children can be educated. I've seen different models occur in different states that have helped students in different ways, and I think that those ideas would be good, to explore and to share with others and other elected officials. So I definitely, would advocate for strengthening our educational system. And I know that there's certain bills that have been passed in the last year or so, with increasing the number of teachers of color and other things, ensuring and making sure that they have the proper training that they need and the proper support in order to succeed as a educator. And then also trying to find a pathway for ESPs or um, people that are helping out in the classroom in different ways, and trying to find a pathway for them to become educators and teachers in the future, either at the beginning splitting their time with serving as an ESP, and then also learning how to teach, and then also using some of that time that they've already spent as an ESP, educational support professional, and in like if they've done it for 5 years or 2 years, using that to offset what they need to become licensed as a teacher, what they need to be able to be recognized as a teacher and as an educator to be able to help when there's shortfalls in the number of teachers that we have in our educational system. So I definitely, like would advocate for those areas, whether it's education, transportation, and with the environment and other areas, making sure that we have a sustainable future and sustainable options in Minnesota that helps propel us forward and that helps our district. I know that we have a lot of environmental issues in SD 63, and a lot of them takes it takes working with officials from other cities to come up with the right solutions on how to move forward with those issues. Like one that we have is with the Hiawatha Golf Course, and then also with Lake Nokomis, being at least, 2 inches higher than it was a couple years ago. But it will take working, surrounding areas, whether it's in Minnetonka or Crystal, or even in other, in St. Louis Park and in Edina, because all of those areas are related to us when it comes to the watershed district, and how the water flows down from the Minnehaha Creek. So it takes, pulling together, different elected officials, different community members, different businesses, and homeowners to be able to come up with a solution in our area, in our district, on different issues that we're seeing, whether it's flooding in the basements or sinkholes, in people's backyards, or shifting of foundations of homes and other issues that people have ran into, that are directly, connected to the environment and connected to the water systems. But we need to come up with solutions and continue to work with the community on that, especially after we get the environmental study plan, and that can give us ideas of what things need to be done next or in the future to help alleviate some of that. But then also, like, continuing to have conversations and continuing to see what other communities are doing to help navigate through those types of issues. So I would definitely, help pull people together, help the community and the environment that we live in to come up with solutions surrounding that and many other things in our community. Another big thing is with telecommunications, and seeing, in rural areas where it's hard, to connect to your phone, and you're not able to even talk on your phone in certain areas, or log on to the internet in certain areas. And a lot of people are, they have to go to the library and other public areas like restaurants, like Burger King and other areas where they can use the internet, because they're not able to use it at home because of the magnetic waves do not go around their area, and there's not a satellite above them that's turned on, that's allowing them to have the proper, telecommunications in that area. So strengthening telecommunications throughout the state, I think, would benefit our state, greatly, because it allows more people to be able to get on the grid and on the system, and to be able to complete, whether, like we're in a pandemic, everybody, a lot of employers have forced people to work from home, or if they're not able to work from home, then they've been furloughed and other things that have occurred. But having telecommunications and more internet service around the area would help us greatly, and it would help people with their work and their work product. I know that we've received questions, especially during, the last forum, just about, having money in politics and stuff like that. And definitely, like, we need to reform and get rid of the Citizens United, because that is, hurting our elections. We need to think of new ways for people, to qualify for elections when it comes, to the campaign finance board, and updating some of those actions, bringing those actions to the board, and allowing them to, vote on them and see if they are okay with updating some of the terms that would allow more people, like more underserved people to be able to be elected and hold office, and also to qualify for the amount, the campaign finance dollars, the public subsidy program. Definitely, like, there's another question that was received about, like, after we have the COVID-19 pandemic, and after the restrictions are lifted, are people going to want to go back and out into the public? Are they going to want to go to the department stores? Are they going to want to take transit, or anything? And I definitely believe and know that our society and our state is only going to grow. Like, in our district, we've had a number of, buildings built, that will house multiple, they have multiple units. They're going to house multiple people. You're going to see, a couple hundred more people moving into our district. And I think, that especially from the places where they're being built at, they're on transportation lines. And I think that people will see that it's convenient, to be able, to take the bus, down the street to the grocery store, or to get something to eat, or to go shopping, if they need to go to Walgreens or CVS or somewhere, to get, their prescriptions and stuff like that. Even though, we have a lot of those places are starting to deliver the items, I think that some people will still want to take transportation, to be able to do that. Right before the COVID-19 pandemic, we saw like a growth in the use of transportation options, especially when it comes to metro mobility and other things like that. And in a lot more people are finding uses of transportation. So whether it's to take it to the doctor's appointment, go to the store, like I mentioned, or go visit people or whatever, I think a lot more people will still get back into doing that. It might look a little different. People might wear masks, more and all the time, and people might be more cautious about who they're around or who they're sitting next to, or if they're sitting next to anyone, like they will definitely space out more, on a metro line. Or, like, if they're on the bus, they won't just sit next to somebody. They might sit, 3 rows or 4 rows away from them, just to make sure that they have enough space, and they're not getting directly exposed by someone. So I definitely think that there's opportunity there, in the future, because those options, have been growing. And once we have a handle on either, having a vaccine, or having a way to cure, people that come down with COVID-19, I do believe that people are going to want to be social again, and they will want to move around the district and the state, as they were, or even more as than before. And like, we're going to have people wanting to take airplanes, again, because there's people right now that are planning their vacations for a year from now, or when this is all over. So I definitely think, with the imagination that a lot of people have, that they will jump on that, and they will take that transportation and use those options in the future. So definitely, like I have said, I definitely welcome an informed, engaged electorate, and I have worked in the community for a long time. I've been around a lot of different communities and a lot of different people, and I've been all over the state, organizing, and I've organized in other states, and I welcome the opportunity for people to reach out and talk to me and find out more about me and my campaign. My name is Husniyah, and I'm running for the Minnesota State House 63B seat, and I look forward to serving my community in the future. Thank you.